everyone. I want to take a few minutes to explain how our weekly journals will function throughout the course. Starting here in week 2, every week one of your homework items will be a weekly journal. They're not terribly difficult, at least they shouldn't be, but I want to give you an explanation of why we're doing them. So starting this week, the week 2 journal is really more of a free write and just you responding to a prompt about what your thoughts are on argument. Moving forward, the journals will be very specific and they relate directly to the weekly discussions. So, this week, in week 2, your week 2 discussion is going to have you look at an image. It's like an ad slash poster. And then you're going to answer some questions about that image, because it does present some type of argument. So you're going to be looking at the argument presented in the image. And then, you'll discuss it with your classmates there in the week 2 discussion. Next week, in week 3, your week 3 journal will include a video from me where I go over that image and go through all the elements of argument. So in the week 2 discussion, that's your chance to kind of try it on your own and see what you make of it and hear what your classmates think about it. And then in the week 3 journal, you're going to hear sort of, a more thorough explanation of the argument in the image. And then there will be some questions that you answer after you have watched my video. The weekly journals will have that format. They will directly relate to the previous week's discussion up until week 10. The reason that these are so important, why you want to make sure you do every weekly discussion and every weekly journal, is because in week 11, the final week of the course, you will be writing a final exam essay. And obviously it's not super formal, it's not going to be in APA format, it's not a research paper like the course project essay. It's more of like an in-class essay that you would take on the last day of class if we were on campus. You'd write it in class or something. It's kind of that idea. But that final exam essay is going to ask you to choose from some of the images that we'll be looking at in the weekly discussions. And you're going to present a rhetorical analysis of your chosen image. If you don't know what a rhetorical analysis is right now, don't worry about it. You'll learn about that later. What you need to know right now is that participating in those weekly discussions and completing the follow-up journal in the next week will prepare you immensely for that final exam essay. So that's why we do these. We're online, so I can't be there to look at the image with you and have that discussion live. We could try, but with people's schedules and everything, I don't think we could manage a live, Zoom where we would do that. So instead, you're going to look at it on your own first, hear what your classmates have to say, and then you get my information, my analysis of it the following week. That way, you get to try on your own, but then you get to, make sure if you were on the mark or if you were totally off the mark, and you get an understanding of what the argument actually was for that image. So please do your best to participate in every weekly discussion and then complete the journal the following week. And again, my video where I discuss the previous week's discussion image will be located in the assignment instructions for the journal that week. So you'll click on, week 3 journal, you'll click on it, go to assignment, and when the instructions pop up on the screen, there'll be a video up above them. So all of this, and the instructions explain what you need to do for every journal. But that's how it all works. If you are answering the questions in the journal and you're giving me thorough answers and it's clear that you watched the follow-up video, you will get full points. If you give me very basic 1 or 2 sentence answers, you're probably only going to get half credit. If you don't complete the assignment at all, if you don't do the journal at all, or if your answers are so vague and off the mark and there's no indication that you actually watched the video, you'll get a 0 for that as well. And don't worry, if you miss a weekly discussion for whatever reason, you'll still be able to complete the journal the following week because I will still provide a copy of the image in the journal instructions as well. So let's say, if you missed week 3's discussion for some reason, you didn't get to participate in it. When you go to week 4, that journal is going to ask you, you're going to watch my video and then it's going to ask you more questions about the week 3 discussion image. And you might be thinking, well, I didn't do the week 3 discussion, so I guess I can't do this journal. No, you still can. You'll be able to view the image too, right there in the journal instructions. And then you can watch the follow-up video and respond to the journal questions. Okay? Alright, so that's how everything works with the journals. They are directly related to the previous week's discussion, and both of those together throughout the course will help prepare you for the final exam essay that you take in week 11. So, if you have any questions about the journals, let me know. Again, the one here in week 2 is a little different because you haven't looked at an image in a discussion yet. So, start with week 2 and complete that one as the instructions, specify. And then just know that starting next week in week 3, the journal entries will then correspond to the previous week's discussions. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, just give it your best shot and move on to the next item.